given the chance to represent everything worthwhile that you have ever experienced ever, and send it out into the void with a fraction of a chance that someone would ever find, much less understand it, what would you share? Earth, viewed from the stars, bioluminescent things in the sea, all the funky little things that live in tide pools, cool leaves, light bouncing off water, sunbeams through a small opening into a dark space, the sting of the cold, crisp air in my lungs, the sound of rushing, bubbling water in the rapids of a mountain river running through the bottom of a canyon. The warm, golden glow of a sunrise. Hedgehogs. Snow in October, and again in May. The very first baby crocuses of the season. A cat purring. The feeling of dancing in the rain. Sunsets seen through rearview mirrors, or across bridges, or through the trees. Eyes closed with the sun on my face. Climbing a tree and then getting sap on my hands and sticking to everything. Rolling down a hill on my stomach. A big rock I finally figured out how to climb, and I only got my shoes a little muddy. A very kind turtle sunbathing on a rock, with not one single care in the whole entire world. Buds, lichen, moss, wood grain, mushrooms on tree bark I never would have noticed if I weren't already hugging the tree. The moss on the Olympic Peninsula, viewed at sunset with a golden retriever and a harbor seal. A flower tucked behind my ear by a friend. Screaming at the top of my lungs at the top of a mountain. Lying on my back in the pouring rain. Hand-sewn clothes. Cry-worthy book quotes. All the Legend of Zelda games. And all the Discworld books. Cave painting handprints. Holst's Jupiter from the planets. Notes on Camp by Susan Sontag. The entire A Year with Frog and Toad soundtrack, with special attention to cookies. The movie Inception. The song Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. And Judy You Hung the Moon by Harbor. A paper plate made by someone who knows me too well. Origami that my fingers know. A melody that I can remember but cannot place. The first story I ever wrote. The breath, just before an orchestra begins to play. One-syllable words. 16 white roses. A pair of size 6 circular knitting needles, half-finished sweater still attached. One rat plushie. 1,974 rubber bouncy balls. One of those tiny plastic babies, or 1,974 of those tiny plastic babies. How to find the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Celestial Seasonings Bengal Spice Tea. Soft pretzels, the good ones, you know what I mean. Cotton candy, also the good kind. Plastic dinosaurs, maple syrup, midnight walks, a deck of cards, the color fuchsia, childhood lemonade stands, the ugliest homemade birthday cake, a plate of my grandma's sugar cookies fresh out of the oven, long summer days that I spend at the river with friends, pet chickens that like to perch on my shoulders, letting my little cousins beat me at a game while trying to keep them from figuring out that I'm letting them beat me, a lucky penny I found on the ground at an arcade, that baby photo of my sister and me dancing on the beach when I was barely not a toddler anymore, tightrope walking the double yellow in the middle of an empty road with the street lamps on, wind that smells like chocolate and morning dew, that weightless feeling when going up over a small hill in the road or in an elevator or at the top of one of those amusement park rides that shoot you up, family gatherings where my dad, uncle, and grandpa always tell either the Mexico story, that time when they drove to Mexico and their truck broke down, or the Alaska story, that time when they drove to Alaska and their truck also broke down. Vanilla extract, wind-up music box ballet dancers, stepping on frosty grass, my Syntax 1 notebook, multitudes of miniature things, queer people from the 80s, an entire outfit fresh out of the dryer, those sticky hand things you throw at a wall and they stick, my grandmother and all of her stories, the little plant that lives on my windowsill, his name is Winig, brown rice, avocado, lima beans that I didn't like as a kid but now love, competitive family dreidel games for whatever candy we have in the house, warm hot chocolate after an afternoon of sledding, a childhood potion made from crushed plants, the physical reverberation in my body when I hit a taiko drum, cartwheels skinny dipping a well-worn sweatshirt, the joy of wandering a completely new city during the day all alone and just absorbing all of the energy and sights and sounds and life, every single language. A hug. A room full of people I love singing happy birthday, horribly off-key with my laughter in the background. A stupid little sketch gifted from someone who can't really draw, but oh boy, they sure put love into it. My twin sisters. The way we pick up each other's speech patterns and habits and ways of being, and how each human being is a 1,000-year amalgamation of everyone they have ever loved and everyone they have ever hated and everyone they have ever paid attention to. A whole room of people named Chris. When people laugh at my jokes. Smiling through the rearview mirror at someone who's sitting in my back seat. When my favorite person wears my favorite sweater of theirs, and they don't even know it's my favorite. Still tying my shoes the way my first crush taught me to. When I meet people from home in other places that aren't home yet, but are beginning to feel like it. The feeling of someone saying thank you. Picking someone up and spinning them around. Hands. Someone else's happy tears on my shoulder. I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you. A rock I keep in my pocket. The feeling of not being afraid. Saying it out loud. every person I have ever loved. The stars, viewed from Earth.
A cornfield in Carlisle town.